Candace and I took a ride out to Château Puyguilhem today. This was one of the first places we took a picture of when we got here. It's quite a place. We were traveling down this road here and came across it, and finally getting back here to take a look at it.
Speaking of a nice view.
So we're heading into the place. Be the first one we've gone into. It's quite a round, I guess you'd call it a donjon. And there's a orangery back here. And
Which is what it sounds like. They
used
to
grow orange trees or citrus trees. Give you a little idea of the surrounds here. And we'll head inside. This is quite a door. Wow. It was. Try to get an idea what the back of this door looks like. And I guess the wind kind of blows it open. A rib vaulted ceiling. And
is that an elephant or a cow?
it's a cow.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Poor Candy.
It's an elephant.
You can see the staircase here going up. They even carved the underside of the stone. And you don't see that on a lot of places. Sometimes it's just smooth. But some nice decorative details. I don't know if you got a lion or a griffin.
Yeah, the contrast is too much in here. It's going to fog us up.
It is. So, no. Got a plafond de français, what they call a ceiling in the French style. And in the earlier times, our understanding is that these internal shutters were the way they went, whereas we're used to shutters being on the outside of windows, which is really a pain in the neck to close. And I'm surprised this didn't hang around here because they're big on closing their shutters here. So it'd be much easier to close them on the inside. Quite a sizable fireplace. This fireplace is probably just under, probably 5.5 feet tall. Probably a good 7 feet wide.
And the tapestries are what you really would have also expected to see on the walls,
Yeah.
right?
So Candace is right. Mentioning, you can see here you got the stone and they rendered the wall, so you're not seeing a field stone like you would think a castle would have, but they would have rendered it, and then it probably would have been painted, and then they would put tapestries like this to cut down on noise and make it a little more.
Dogs would enjoy this.
Yeah. So I'll take a walk into the next room. Do we know what the room is? Was there anything that said what the room was, Candy? You can see how big that fireplace is with Miss Candace modeling in front of it. So we don't know what that room, I'm guessing it's a grand reception hall.
Oh, they talk about a rhinoceros.
This guy's having a little problem losing his head. He probably should have pulled his sword out instead of keeping it in his scabbard.
This is the salle à manger.
The salle à manger. So this would be the dining room.
Yep.
Again, another fireplace, a little more narrow, same height.
A lot of windows.
The depth of the carving on this, give you an idea here, is quite large. Above there. These are some beautiful pieces of furniture here.
Is it fountain over here?
I don't know. Maybe they would have had a wash basin there. We've seen these in a bunch of places with a later,
Statues in there though, right?
possibly, or nooks to hold something for cleaning.
It's a considerably smaller fireplace, isn't it?
Give you a good look at these shutters. Nice detail on the shutters. And the hardware, you can't really see that. Just a little latch on the back. The hinges there are quite substantial for a shutter. Turn here. Well, I don't know as though it matters.
No?
It's kind of a, there's no heat in this place, obviously.
This is the kitchen.
This is the cuisine. Some nice kettles.
Boy, look at the cracks in that wood.
It's, I believe they call it checking, where the beams, Candace is talking about these up here, where the beams have checked as they've dried. You can see the size of this table in here is quite, it's got to be a good 4 inches thick. You can see it's, these were probably repairs done to the table.
So were these all for coal? Or what? I mean, they didn't have coal. then.
Bed warmers. So they would have taken coal from the fireplace and put them inside there.
But they didn't have coal.
Not coal, charcoal. The ashes.
Yeah.
Not really, really, you want the charcoal though. The ashes, the ashes dust. Let's go in back here. This must have been a food storage area. Small window up there for light. Another one on this side. So I'm guessing that's just a pantry. What's interesting about it is they have a knocker. So maybe it was the head cook's place where he stayed. So maybe it wasn't the pantry. But I believe with the head cook would have kept the expensive spices and ingredients in his chambers. Some restoration. Quite a... Another staircase going up. Give you a little look in here. And they're supporting their ceiling, redoing something. Don't see a sign for what this room is.
No, I didn't see one.
But they got the shutters shut.
It looks like they have something to do with the guards. I mean, look at the
Yeah, the pikes and
holes.
halberds.
Yeah.
So we'll take a walk up the stairs, see if we can make you dizzy. These stairs are in really good shape. There's no dipping to them. Wondering if they were repaired at one time. If you look here, you
Yeah,
can
they don't
see.
have the dip that
Yeah.
we expect.
And then you get to this point right here, and the stone changes. So let's see what those stones look like. Yeah. See, now that's an old stair right there. That's what they should look
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So they redid the stairs here.
Look at that. Oh my God.
That is a crazy staircase.
Yeah, but I mean, this is rock. And how much they
Yeah.
worn away.
Well, the interesting thing would be how they would have supported those stairs and replaced the ones underneath it. That would have been an interesting feat right there. So this is the room above the one that we were just in, and you can feel that this floor dips as you walk into it. But they got it supported, so it should be safe.
This is the Chatelain's bedroom.
The Chatelain's bedroom. So the Chatelain would be the owner of the chateau. Got a nice seat here where Candace could sit and do her needlepoint. A little view out the
Very
window.
cool. So you got a good
Yeah,
photo of that whole thing.
it is amazing how much this floor dips. I mean, you're really walking downhill. I was thinking this was going to be a commode, but it's not. That's interesting, nice. Ceiling details here. Take a walk into this other section here. It's nice to be here in the winter during COVID when you don't have so many people visiting places. Really,
Now, here we see wood.
yeah, wooden floors. So like Candace is saying, this is the floor de Perigord, and sadly we still haven't looked up what the word for floor is, even though we have seen it.
So, S-O-L.
Sol, so maybe it's Sol de Perigord. It's just,
So this is the Lord's bedchamber.
so that would have been, so I thought there was another word for a male chateau owner.
This says Lord. So, must have been a woman who owned it.
This is spectacular. Wait till you see this fireplace. Some really nice tapestries. Her shoes are making wonderful noises. That is quite a fireplace. I'm guessing these are the trials of Hercules.
I don't see that very often though. Yeah, but that's it's like a soldier.
Well, I'm wondering if it's,
Pike.
yeah. So the different trials, you have the boar, the bull, the hydra, and I don't know who this, maybe that's the mare. Not a very vicious looking mare. And then centaur, it looks like. Well, maybe this one's the mare. So that one might have been a deer. I'm not that familiar with all the different trials, but I'm guessing that last one is the mare, which is very reminiscent of my sister's horse. Very vicious beast. And yeah, that is incredible. All right. So this is the Great Hall where we just were. And we're getting ready to go back into the other tower where we originally entered. And we'll give you just point out this door to you if you look at it. All the molding and the mortise and tenon joints holding this together. Again, door knocker, so it must have went into maybe his chamber. But walk back out of here into our original tower. If you look at that ceiling.
Well, you go this way.
Yeah, we're gonna head up there now. More doors.
No, that's new for us too, to see the ceiling.
Ceiling is highly decorated, yeah. And the floors are just really something. And this is that staircase. We could have come up this originally. This is a huge staircase. Just
Oh, and that one has not been.
improved. What they did, you can see they remortared some of the steps
But not
to
completely.
make them more walking friendly. I don't remember, maybe when we were in the White Castle in London, did they have a spiral staircase this large? And you can see that these are all pie-shaped pieces that just stack. In the center section, they all line up. And then over here in the wall, they fit in. So they keep stacking them around as they build the wall, they build the stairs, and it's all intricately locked together. Give you a look at this ceiling. Again, rib vaulted.
That's crazy.
Beautiful masonry in this place. So, not really sure where we're supposed to go at this point.
No, I don't think we go behind those doors. I'm gonna try, see what happens.
Well,
With the alarm.
I'd figure it'd be locked if they don't want us to go behind
Yeah.
it. Give you a great view outside here. It's back where we entered. It's not
That's
focusing
too bad, we're
properly.
underneath at the top.
Well, we're gonna go back across and go up the staircase that's
Yeah,
in this
there's one.
tower. So we'll head back that way. So we couldn't go any farther up the other staircase either, but I wanted to show you this column as we came back down. The carving of this column. So we're back at that staircase where they replaced a bunch of the steps. And you can see over here where they kept the base pieces and they cut them and put new ones in here. But then as you get up here, from here all the way into the wall is a new stair. That had to be quite a project. You can see this was actually supported from underneath. So that would have made it a little bit easier. We're gonna head outside. It said that this was the way out, but
We didn't lock the
apparently,
ceiling,
no,
did
no. I think we have to go back out the other way.
you? Isn't this?
All right, so we're headed back outside, and the air from outside feels warm at this point. Take off the mask. Give you an idea. This outside, they've replaced some of the window pieces here, going all the way up. It's really. So that's the one with the other staircase with the repaired steps. And I really don't remember being in that round dungeon, but maybe that was the room that they were repairing the floor with the other floor that dipped so much. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but in the background you can hear the hunting dogs because it's Sunday. Sunday is hunt day in France. You see a lot of them along the sides of the roads, the hunters. Haven't seen the dogs. We did come across one that was wandering down the road. Poor little guy. He had a radio collar on. But we got another Ile de Boeuf. I'm saying that wrong. How do you say I again?
Oi.
Oi. Oi de Boeuf. So I guess you gotta say it like an Irishman. Guessing that's a pigeonry, but I'm not sure. They are. So this whole room was closed off to us. They may use that for functions, or maybe it's not restored. I don't know. We were not in there. So I'll give you a tour around the back side here. Much lower. The rooftops of these things are just amazing. A different chimney you look up there, actually I went too fast. These are like chimney, it's not dipping candy. There's a, it's an illusion cut. This part of the wall is flat. This comes at a little bit of an angle, and then this one is at a right angle to this wall. So it makes this little roof here look like it's dipping in, but it's not. Give you a look up here. But if you look, they've got these things on top of the chimney here that are got like their own little rib joists or something instead of chimney pots. You do see chimney pots over here. It's got a nice yard. And we're bringing it back this way to look at this building. You see a lot of buildings over here with round roofs, even the churches. You'll see round roofs on them. So Candace found a sign that it is the pigeonry, or pigeonniere. I guess they would collect the pigeon manure to spread on, I can't believe it's enough to spread on a bunch of fields because you'd had the cow manure. So I don't know if it was mixed in and spread or if it was used specifically for certain gardens. But we'll take a walk down there in a second. So we're at the end of the treed garden or something. And you can see the ground here. I don't know how much is going to show up on there, but the ground is all ripped up by wild boar. And just to give you an idea, this was just walk down through this line of trees. You can see it's terraced. You got this section, you got this section. There's some more really trashed area. And then it goes up to this section. And it looks like they're replanting the trees to retain the look. But you can see we've walked far enough where you don't even see the chateau anymore. But we're gonna head back there and go check out the pigeonry now. So we're still in our grove of trees here, and we're seeing these leaves that we're not familiar with right here. So we're gonna pull this guy out, and we've got a little identifier here. Let's see, take a picture. And it's a sweet chestnut tree. And that's why we're not familiar with it, because we don't have chestnuts in the United States anymore. But, so we're guessing a bunch of these trees here are chestnuts. There are other leaves that look more like oaks. And, but still headed back to the pigeonniere. You can see the ground over here is all churned up pretty good. And that's why you got to do more boar hunting. Sadly, the boar spear is packed up in the United States, so we have to wait for boar hunting time. We'll give you a little look as we're coming back into view of the chateau, coming down this alley. The red sign there on the right hand side is where you go down to the pigeonniere. It's not as, so this probably would have been another staircase going up that we couldn't access. But it's quite a impressive piece of architecture, especially when you're driving by on the road. Kind of come around the corner and this thing comes leaping out of the woods at you, even though it's a good distance off. So that's it. So we've made it out to the pigeonniere. It's kind of a plain building. but it's massive. And you can see this lip, I guess where the pigeons would land and they could go inside there. You can almost see, there it is. See out the other side. So these doors are all around it. No, don't see one on the other side of that one. But go in here, and you can actually go in here. That's interesting. Yeah, you'd think it'd be full of pigeon shit, but you got all the roosts. And they still can, I guess, roost up in the ceiling. But these roosts go all the way around. Just in case that's making you dizzy. They've done a nice job restoring this. I'm curious whether they put netting up in there. It doesn't look like it, to keep them out of the ceilings, because the ground here is pretty clean. So I don't know what used to attract the pigeons to these, other than necessity, but you would think they'd be coming into it now. So I don't know. We're gonna have to do a little research on that. Here's our director, Ms. Clark, over here. Looking in the big door. So that's, see the chateau's up there. One thing we were just kind of discussing, and it sounds silly to say, is that it's surprising when you drive up to this place how big it looks and drive by it. It's massive. And when you've been in it and walked around it, it's not as massive as you would think it is. I mean, it's definitely a big building. But it's actually a nice size. So we're gonna head out of here and maybe head over to an abandoned abbey or ruined abbey and see what's going on there.